Shalom, brothers and sisters. We are the Hebrew Israelites, sons of Yahweh, Camp Durham, North Carolina. As always, here to edify people on the last days of America. All brothers spoke beautifully today in their lessons. I'm going to keep it going. Hopefully I could do as good of a job as the other brothers did. The other brothers had wonderful lessons. All honor and praises due to Yahweh Shai, and all the brothers on the highways and byways professing the downfall of America and pushing this truth. Our topic for today is the gatekeepers of Israel. It's parallels to what Brother Gadal spoke about earlier. So I'm going to do an extension on what Brother Gadal spoke about. I got a book that Brother Lamont standing to my left. We're going to start off reading this book, and this book is called $40 Million Slaves, written by William C. Roden, who used to work for ESPN. It's very profound. I did this lesson in 2012. And lo and behold, with all the stuff going on right now with current events, it behooves me to come out and bring this story out again because it fits what's going on right now. So Brother Lamont is going to start off reading that book by William C. Roden, the $40 Million Slaves. And we're talking about the Boule, the gatekeepers of Israel. We're going to keep that going, exposing these people for who they really are, because they have been a detriment to the community and the nation of Israel. So, you know, we always talk about the so-called white man this, the so-called white man that, but behind that is the black Boule, the gatekeepers of Israel, who help perpetrate the crafty counsel that that the Bible speaking of. So, Brother Lamont, if you can go ahead, and we're gonna break down the book, then we're gonna get into the scriptures. Go ahead, brother.
From the book $40 Million Slaves: The Rise, Fall, and Redemption of the Black Athlete by William Roden, page 100. Author Arthur Rube Foster's Negro National. Foster founded his Negro National League, the NNL, in 1920.
So we had our own baseball league back in the 1920s that was founded by Rube Foster, an Israelite. So we had our own Negro leagues. So we didn't have to get involved with the Major League Baseball and all of that. Jackie Robinson with integration, it's going to get into that. And it shows you how the power machine, the propaganda of America works. And this is what William C. Roden was explaining in this book. The $40 Million Slaves is perfect describing the people, the Michael Strahans, the Oprah Winfreys, the Jay-Z. It describes these people to a T. Go ahead.
This universe of black baseball was run by African Americans and was largely dependent on an African American fan base. Though it appealed to a cross-section of fans who appreciated the fast-paced, daredevil, quote-unquote, Africanized style of play that became the league's resonating, rousing signature. Foster knew baseball like no other man, black or white. He had been a star pitcher and innovative manager, a stern but generally benevolent team owner, and now was the driving force behind a groundbreaking league.
So this is groundbreaking because he founded the Negro Leagues. A lot of great players that played in Major League Baseball started in the Negro Leagues, including Jackie Robinson himself. Go ahead.
Yet Rube Foster has become a mere footnote in the epic story of sports integration.
So they never mentioned Rube Foster at all. You don't hear nothing about Rube Foster. Rube Foster was an integral part, and you see the Latino explosion in Major League Baseball. A lot of the prominent baseball players were Israelites. All that's because of Rube Foster, who they never really talk about. They never mention Rube Foster. Go ahead.
Says, yet Rube Foster has been a mere footnote in an epic story of sports integration in which Jackie Robinson is a central character.
Listen good. Now it's going to get deep into explaining the whole Jackie Robinson process. Go ahead.
In some ways, however, Foster is an even more significant figure than Robinson. Foster used black resources to build a baseball league that nurtured talents like Robinson while establishing an economically viable alternative to Major League Baseball.
So he was financing it himself. So he was paying the players, he owned the team, and he had other black investors. This was the Negro Leagues. It was all black. They controlled the whole economic structure. Go ahead.
Robinson became a symbol of the process of integration, a process that ultimately enriched white institutions while weakening and in many cases destroying black institutions.
See, that's what happened. Integration equals infiltration, so that's how we was able to lose a lot of our businesses. And that's the cleverness of the propaganda of the wicked, which is the so-called white man, because they're just not going to just come. He's a snake that you read about in the book of Genesis. He come and oppose himself as your friend. That's how he's able to infiltrate, and it happened way back then with Jackie Robinson. So as you appear, when they always talk about, especially with Major League Baseball, during the summer months, they have Jackie Robinson Day. And don't get me wrong, it was significant in American history for what Jackie was able to do. But if you got to peel back that onion to realize why they did what they did, because they had to disband the Negro Leagues because they had their own fans, their own concessions, their own teams. So the economic power that we had with the black baseball, with the Negro Leagues, was powerful. So they didn't want to rival that. So what they had to do was create something, be creative to kind of break that up. And it's going to tell you this. Go ahead.
White America determined the pattern of integration. The white power structure chose blacks who made whites feel comfortable.
What the Brother Goodall's lesson told you, they have handpicked a lot of the Boule members to help keep the average everyday Negro in check. So they have put somebody up like a Jackie Robinson to make the so-called white man feel comfortable. He wasn't a threat, so to speak. Go ahead.
Says let's see. The white power structure chose blacks who made whites feel comfortable, who more or less accepted the vagaries of racism.
So they accepted the status quo Negro who's going to go along with their program and go along with their system. Go ahead.
This was the Jackie Robinson model of how an integration-worthy African American behaved. Taking abuse, turning the other cheek, tying oneself in knots.
See, this is the kind of Negro they want. They want somebody to turn the other cheek. They don't want a Malcolm X. They don't want a charismatic leader like a Malcolm X.
Right.
They want a docile leader, somebody that's not going to fight, that's not going to stand up for their beliefs, that's not going to stand up for the Most High system. Go ahead.
Holding one's tongue, never showing anger, waiting for racist sensibilities to smolder and die out. If your spirit didn't die first, this model was hardly progress for black athletes. It was, in fact, a reversal of the paradigm for black involvement in sports that Foster and others had created out of a hard necessity. Foster was also a pioneer, but not in the same way. His innovation wasn't being the first black in a white-defined institution. He was a man of clear, resolute, and uncompromising vision. He wanted a professional league of black baseball that was owned, organized, managed, and played by African Americans.
That's beautiful. That's economic power, people. And that's what we had, and that's what we gave up due to integration, through the likes of people like Dr. Martin Luther King, Julian Bond, Andrew Young, Jesse Jackson, always promoting Rainbow Coalition. Integration equals infiltration, and this is why you see people like Kanye West, Kyrie Irving speaking up now. because we had the economic power. But you got gatekeepers, Charles Barkley, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharps, people like that, Oprah Winfrey, those people to help perpetrate keeping you down, keeping you docile as a nation. And this is what's going on. It hasn't changed. It's still happening. This is why they're in an anchor chair. Why you think Michael Strahan is on Good Morning America? Not because he's a great journalist, but because he's part of the clique. He's part of the gatekeeper community. Go ahead.
Foster was not a dreamer. He was a shrewd, determined businessman with superior organizational skills. His Negro National League marked one of the last times that African Americans controlled their own major league sport organization.
So we control our own major league sports organization. You see LeBron James and all these players, the high-level players in the NBA, they don't own the teams. You running, jumping, dunking, and shooting, but you don't own the teams. You don't own the NBA. You're responsible for the $1 billion revenue that it is with Major League Baseball, National Football League, Major League Baseball, but yet you don't own the teams. A lot of you all are not the GMs of the teams. You're not the scouts, you're not the coaches. How many coaches in the NFL? I think there's 3 black head coaches in the NFL. Get the crappy jobs where they know you're gonna fail. But a guy like Adam Gase keeps getting jobs after jobs after jobs after jobs, an unproven commodity. But this is what it's talking about, the economic power that we had, but you gave that up through integration. Go ahead.
His Negro National League also offered a glimpse of what an African American community could achieve by effectively nationalizing its athletic gold. The lasting genius of Foster's legacy is that he was able to organize African Americans, to unite and move them as a group toward a collective goal.
It's beautiful. I want you to read that last part again, because that's what it was all about, and they had to break that up. There would be no MLB if there wasn't integration, because Rube Foster started the Negro Leagues. And you can see the economic power in that, and they broke that up. Go ahead. I want you to read that again and read it slow.
The lasting genius of Foster's legacy is that he was able to organize African Americans, to unite and move them as a group toward a collective goal.
That's what we're supposed to be doing, people.
Right.
That's what we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be against each other. We're not supposed to be working outside the Most High program. So when Kyrie spoke out and when Kanye spoke out, the Stephen A. Smith, the Oprah Winfrey, they should have been the one to stand in his corner and support him.
Right.
But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Only the people that's standing up and supporting the Kyrie Irvings and the Kanye West are the Israelites that you see on the street corner near you. Where is everybody else? Where's Bill Cosby? Where's Oprah Winfrey? Where's Jay-Z speaking up on behalf? Didn't Kanye get his start through Jay-Z? Where's Jay-Z at in support of Kanye West? Jay-Z know where his bread is buttered at, and he's not going to make any waves. He's going to continue to be a docile nigga to the so-called white man and the so-called Jews. Go ahead.
Foster's vision extended beyond forming a league for the sake of simply playing baseball. He wanted to, quote unquote, unite those who seemingly could not be united. Foster was trying to prove that this could be done, but it would take a super effort to solve the perplexing question of why Negroes appear to unite with anybody and everybody, but will not unite with themselves.
That's beautiful. That's very prophetic. And that's the problem with the nation of Israel. That's a problem within the nation of Israel. Because we've been standing up here all day, and a lot of our own people cussed us out, gave us F-bombs. Because why? Because we're speaking against the system. And this is why we out here to speak against the system, because we the voice of the Most High. Anytime somebody that look like you stand up in support of you, you got a problem with it. And that's been going on for centuries. This is what we're exposing today. Go ahead, brother. Is that it? That's it on that. Okay. All right, so now, I brought that out as a precursor to what Brother Goddard brought out earlier. So now we're going to get into the scriptures proving what happens to the gatekeepers, the ones that's responsible for helping perpetrate and keeping our people in bondage by support of white supremacy. So now we're going to get the scriptures on it and prove to you that the people that they put up as leaders are against you. Go ahead, brother. Call it out. Let them know where you're reading from.
This is John chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So the scripture said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So we here to free Kyrie Irving today with the truth. Right. We here to free Kanye West today with the truth. What is the truth? That the so-called blacks in America are the real Jews. That's the truth. And we're going to expound on that. The Bible says, ye shall know the truth shall make you free. And see, that's why the Jay-Z's, the Oprah Winfrey's, they can't come out in a public forum and speak in the teeth of Babylon the way we do. Why? Because they not free. Oprah Winfrey's not free. Jay-Z is not free. Charles Barkley is not free. They can't come on this forum and do what we do and speak and say that the blacks are the real Jews. Why? Because they bought and paid for it. Right. They're a bunch of sellouts. Just like all the other leaders that they bring in front of you, they all a bunch of sellouts. They work for the elite. Go ahead.
John chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
You shall know the truth. The truth is what frees you. That's what makes you free. Not how much money you got in the bank, not your prestige in America, but who you are as an individual, knowing your nationality. That frees you here in America. That's why you're looking at the only free men here in America right now, the Israelites that's on the street corner. We free because we're free to come out here and tell you the truth, tell you your nationality. Go ahead.
John chapter 8.
Go to the next.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
This is why we in the conditions that we're in, because our people, we destroyed for lack of knowledge. What knowledge? Of the Bible, knowing who we are as a nation of people, knowing what our responsibilities are, knowing what our tribes are, knowing what we're supposed to do in connection with each other, spiritually. And we're lacking in that. Go ahead.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge.
Because you reject knowledge. You reject the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Right. The laws was given to the nation of Israel. The Most High gave you the laws. But yet you reject that. Why? Because you want to participate in everything that the other nations do. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
So that's why the Most High has rejected you. Why? Because you don't stand up and acknowledge who you are as an Israelite. Go ahead.
That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children.
So you've forgotten the law of your power. That's why your children are suffering. We have a lot of our young men participating in gang activity. Why? Because they don't know who they are. Their fathers is not there raising them up as an Israelite, teaching them what tribes they're from. With all those distractions. Where did we leave off, Brother Karab?
Just finish Hosea.
Okay, go ahead to the next scripture.
It's Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense.
So we understand how the Most High got everything set up. Most High understand that you need money for food, clothing, shelter, and the basic necessities that you need in life. The Most High understands that. Go ahead.
For wisdom is a defense,
Wisdom is a defense,
and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
so that's beautiful. So guess what? Wisdom trump, in the end, what you know as an Israelite, that's what's going to trump the riches of this world. And that's what the Most High is letting you know. Because a lot of these guys, the Michael Strahans, the Stephen A. Smith, the gatekeepers of Israel, that's what they do. They covet money. That's what they covet. It's not about the knowing what you know, knowing that you're an Israelite. That's why they're against Kyrie. That's why they're against Kanye. Because they don't want those men to stand up against this system because it's jeopardizing their wealth in America. That's why. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8 and verse 5. If riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom?
Moshe said, what is richer than wisdom? Knowing who you are, knowing your tribe. That's valuable, man. Knowing that you're Israelite.
Right.
Knowing your future. Knowing that the future kingdom is for you, the inheritance of the whole planet Earth. What's more greater than that? You want the crumbs off the white man's table, but you don't want infinite wealth that will never end. Standing up for righteousness according to how the Most High wants you to stand up for. That's what real wealth is. But you all don't want that. You don't want to put the work in and be obedient children to the Most High and observe the laws, statutes, and commandments. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be disciplined by the laws of the Most High. But yet you observe all the laws of America, the wickedness of America, the degradation of America. You all for that. You support that. Go ahead.
1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 5. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness.
See, this is why people like Charles Barkley and them can't stand up and support Kyrie Irving in his quest, letting them know that he the real Jew. Because it's about their money. Because he's standing up for his righteousness, knowing that he's an Israelite, it's affecting their pockets. That's what they have a problem with. That's the only reason why they standing up, because hey, it's jeopardizing their money, it's jeopardizing their lifestyle. Go ahead.
Supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself, but godliness with contentment is great gain.
So the Most High said, hey, why can't you just be content with the life that you have? Why can't you just be content with the $200,000 or $300,000 house that you have? But that's not good enough for some of our people. They have to have the biggest and the greatest of all. Go ahead.
For we brought nothing into this world.
So Charles Barkley, Oprah Winfrey, Stephen A. Smith
brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
So guess what? When you leave this place, you're going to came in what you came in with. You're going to leave what you came in with. Nothing.
That's right.
So while you putting the dirt on your brother in the grave, you doing yourself and your nation a disservice.